Hey, Ty here, so welcome to the VRTech channel. Today is all about VR hardware, as we have some exciting new things in the good and in the bad. We're finally starting to see FOV in the topics again, and apparently VRChat now has an official VR headset. Pico is working on something new and exciting, and well, Vario, thank God. But hey, let's discover everything together in this video. Let's get into it. Alright, let's start right away with a cool one, because Bigscreen announced in collaboration with VRChat a VRChat edition for the Bigscreen Beyond 2E. That is gonna be the version with actual eye tracking included in there. And the cool thing is we got more details about this new version that comes also in a different color, and also about the regular version of the Bigscreen Beyond E with the eye tracking, with some capabilities that before weren't really mentioned, and actually they were like kind of silenced. So what's particular about this headset is going to be available to pre-order right now. I'm going to leave a link below so you can find it, and why it's a perfect match in this collaboration. Well, we didn't talk much about the Bigscreen Beyond 2 on the channel. I actually went from some Through the Lenses videos, but I noticed that I never actually did a first impression video, so I have to redeem myself very soon about it, and something that I will recommend to most people right now, upgrading from the Valve Index, etc, etc. It has great visuals, a resolution that is high enough to be completely enjoyable, with also micro OLED displays with amazing colors, but it's not that high that is actually hard to run on a regular PC. Also, what makes it perfect for VRChat directly is the fact that here we're talking about a headset that is just 107 grams. And that's a huge and big deal when talking about social VR, when you want to stay the longest time possible in there. Also, if you are from VRChat, you know already, but most of the people use full body tracking, and for that you're gonna need some sensors like Steam VR trackers to, track all your movements, etc. Face tracking, eye tracking, of course, that in this case is included. So any of these accessories that you're probably used to use with the Valve Index are also gonna be compatible over here, no problem at all. On the nice side, this is also gonna have a new design, a particular design with a purple reminding of VRChat in this translucent shell that looks very cool indeed. It's not all though. In the VRChat edition that is gonna start at $1269, you're gonna be able to choose between the custom fit cushion or the Halo mount universal fit cushion. Also, they mentioned they're gonna be included some perks for VRChat users directly, with things to unlock in the game, but it's not clear what is gonna be just yet. The pre-orders, by the way, are starting from right now, and they're gonna start to ship from August. And if you already bought the Bigscreen Beyond 2 or the Bigscreen Beyond 2E and you didn't receive it yet, you're gonna be able to write support and actually change your order from that one to this one, of course paying the difference in case, and get the perks of the VRChat edition. Would I recommend this headset? Well, it doesn't make a much different from the regular Bigscreen Beyond E with the eye tracking, but if you like the purple and having a probably limited edition with also different box, this is for sure the way to go. And by the way, it's worth mentioning something that they talked about in the blog post, and that will be great for pretty much everyone, is the fact that actually starting to advertise this eye tracking, not just for the eye tracking possibilities, so the ability to use it to move your eyes in game, but also for the other rendering, so the ability to have better performance in flight simulators or driving simulators and stuff like that usually are very much computing intensive. This is very particular because when they unveiled the headset with eye tracking, they said that the resolution might not be good enough to actually support this kind of use. Instead, right now, they're actually starting to openly talking about it. And so that's very exciting, because for the renderings, it's like the big myth of VR, something that we really need, and we're gonna see it also in the next part of the video, but we never really got to the point to use it in the right way, besides with the Apple Vision Pro, for example. So it's great that companies are starting to look into it a bit more closely because it's very important indeed. And so let's get to the second part of the video, and this is very interesting because Meta Reality Labs actually showed off a new prototype of a headset with very large FOV. We're talking about 180 degrees FOV in a pretty compact form factor. They showed a video with a comparison with the Meta Quest 3 that is around 110 degrees right now, and the difference here is very big. And also they showed the same application also in mixed reality, so using the cameras in the front to have a much better awareness, I would say, when talking about mixed reality. The cool particular thing about this headset is that, of course, it's a prototype, and you can still see that I'm using a constellation tracking, that is an old tracking way that we used to have on the Oculus Rift, for example, so a very long time ago, but apparently it's easy to implement, so that's why they're still making prototypes using that kind of tracking. But how do they achieve it? Well, through the lenses with high curvature reflective polarizer, so keeping pretty much the same lens area but using different bounces to have less distortion and of course more and more FOV. But yeah, Meta is not the first, of course, looking into wide FOV headset. We had Pimax for a very long time, but those are always had the problem to be very bulky and big, and well, big distortions that will make the view not really comfortable for many people. It's nice to see that the big companies actually looking into FOV again, but that's the reason why right now with all the different headsets it's very hard to push for FOV. The reality is, like, if you have more FOV, you need much more resolution within much more computational power. That means that we're gonna need for sure eye tracking to use for better rendering, to just render a better clarity where we're looking at. But at the end of the day, you're gonna have to still load the geometry of different games and everything for the entire FOV. So games needs to actually support it out of a box. It's not something that you can do just from the system. Yes, you can lower the resolution, but all the rest needs to be rendered anyway. So yeah, it opens a Pandora box that's probably better to keep closed, and that's why many different headsets are actually okay with 110 FOV and not going further, because the computational power needed, the resolution needed for bigger FOV start to be very important. I love to see these things when Meta many times shows different prototypes with HDR, with amazing clarity, with crazy pixels per degree. Now FOV, very focal view, but then we get nothing of that because they tried to keep the price as low as possible. We get the Quest 3S Xbox edition, or even prototype biggest glasses with the puck attached to it to bring the weight down. And that's what actually Pico is trying to do after canceling the Pico 5 and the version that was meant to be a competition with the Apple Vision Pro. Apparently Pico and ByteDance is working on a headset that is gonna be as big as a pair of glasses, something reminiscent anyway to what we have with the Bigscreen Beyond or the elusive immersed XR. Yeah, that one, but completely standalone and keeping the battery out of equation to actually bring the weight down as much as possible and having something wearable for a long time. This is kind of a new approach that I kind of love, to be honest. While I don't love the battery pack like I have on the Apple Vision Pro, for example, I'm kind of used to having cables going around using a lot of PC VR, but I think it's very important to try to bring the size of these headsets down as much as possible, because if you want something that you're going to be able to wear around, you're going to be able to wear for a longer time and to have something more comfortable, well, comfort inside needs to be taken into account. But yeah, fortunately we don't have much information about it. We just know that they're working on this and what they canceled. That's what Pico is working on right now after the Pico 4 Ultra. Something about canceling, by the way, is Vario, that apparently is actually canceling support for their high-end headsets before the latest version. So you're not gonna have support anymore for the Vario Aero, XR3 and VR3. By the way, these were very expensive headsets that most of the time required also a subscription to actually be used. Beside the Vario Aero, this was the one made directly for, you know, simmers or prosumers that really wanted the best quality possible. So they're gonna focus just on an XR4 XR4 platform. With the XR4 that is $5,990, the XR4 Focal Edition that is $9,900, and the X4 Secure Edition that's for military stuff, and that goes from $18,000 to $32,000. But anyway, guys, this was what I wanted to update you about, all the new VR headsets coming and stuff like that. I think the Bigscreen Beyond one is very cool. I really love the collaboration with the big software partners, and VRChat is perfect for that kind of headset. The Meta thing, it might not be the nicest thing ever, but I really hope the FOV is gonna become something in the future, even given all the different difficulties. And yeah, for Pico, I really hope they can get back to something, because we really need competition on this market that is kind of taken by Meta when it comes to standalone VR. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Are you interested about this very wide FOV, or you're okay with 110 degrees? Let me know. There's gonna be the link down below for the Bigscreen Beyond anyway, if you want to check it out. And yeah, if you like the video, like. If you like the video, dislike. Subscribe to the channel for more VR tech. If you really love the channel, join button there. Later on further, also the Patreon. Thanks for the Patreons to join the channel, of course, and I see you guys next video. Thanks for watching. Ciao.